everyone, so today we are going to be focusing on something called tangling, which is a really fun way to sketch, but it's also a really cool way to create a beautiful pattern within an outline. So you'll see in what I've given to you that you get to choose your own outline, and I just gave you some suggestions, so please feel free to, go with anything that you really like, whether it's your initial or, your last name initial, anything like that is fine. So that's their very, very first step, is creating that outline, which I'll show you. Then what you're going to do is you're going to choose 3 patterns. That's a great place to start. That you're going to practice. So basically for the first step, you're going to do 2 parts, which is create your outline. And then on another piece of paper, if you're able to print out the slide that has the circles, you can practice with that. Or you could just use a sketchbook or a regular piece of paper. So I'll show you what I mean by that as well. So within the first step, there's going to be 2 little parts that we'll do to get us set up for the rest of the project. So the first thing you want to do is, just to make things easy, I'm just going to use my last initial. And so I'm going to make it kind of, like a bubble letter almost. And I'm just going to do that freehand. I'm not measuring, I'm not using a straight edge. I'm just doing a P for price. Okay, so I'm going like that. I might make it come out a little bit like this, and like that, and this. And of course, definitely work in pencil so you can, fix anything as you go. Now, you'll be set up. That way you'll kind of have an idea of where you want to place your patterns. But what you're going to want to do in the meantime is do a little bit of practicing. So you are going to put circles within your outline. So what I would recommend doing, like I mentioned, if you can't print out the practice page, just on a regular sheet of paper, make yourself some circles, and you could just freehand them. Like I just showed you, they do not have to be perfect, but it gives you a small space where you can practice the patterns that you really want to try. So for instance, one of the first ones that I'm going to do is going to be, I'm going to do a little bit of, almost looks like a geode pattern. So I'm doing kind of an organic shape in the center, and I'm just going to continue to go around the outside of it. And these are called concentric shapes. Now, as you can see, I'm not really following any particular perfect pattern, but I am following the organic movement of that shape. So I just wanted to show you that. Again, it looks like kind of the inside of a geode. Now for this one, I'm going to start with a circle here. These are also concentric shapes here. And I'm just going to continue making circles out farther and farther away from this focal point that I created. And then I'm going to go around like this. And as you can see, I have to fix that up a little bit. Can reconnect that over here and continue out like that and like that. Okay, so I'm just giving myself a chance to practice, because again, we are going to be using circles as the base of our pattern space. So the next thing I probably want to do, this one is a fun pattern too. I'm going to start out with some curved lines, just like this. And then we're going to cross the other direction, make almost like a web or a weave. There we go. Broke my pencil a little bit. And then I'm just going to put dots on those edges. Okay, anywhere there's a connection, I want to put a dot just to emphasize where that space is. Give it some interest. Okay, so again, these are probably 3 of the simplest, but they're a great place to get started. Okay, so I would spend some time, like I mentioned, going through and creating your outline. I gave you some shapes to think of, or like I mentioned, you could do initials. And then I would spend some time practicing 3 patterns that you like. And, if the first patterns don't work out, that's okay. Just try it again on another sheet of paper or reprint the circles that I gave to you on the slides. So I hope this helps you get started, and I can't wait to get to the next step. Thanks for joining me.